Paprika is one of those ingredients most of us recognize instantly. A fine red powder sitting quietly in the spice rack, often sprinkled on deviled eggs, roasted potatoes, or grilled meats for a pop of color. But for something so common, paprika is surprisingly misunderstood. Many people assume it's just a mild, slightly sweet seasoning, or worse, just red powder, with no real personality. In reality, paprika is not a single flavor, or even a single spice in the way we usually think about it. It's a whole family of flavors, histories, and traditions, all ground into that familiar red dust. To truly understand paprika, we have to go back to the pepper plants it comes from, the cultures that embraced it, and the choices that turn one paprika into something sweet and gentle, and another into something smoky, rich, and deeply intense. Right here, on History of Simple Things. At its core, paprika is made from peppers, specifically varieties of Capsicum annuum, the same species that gives us bell peppers and chili peppers. The key difference lies in the type of pepper used and how it's processed. Paprika peppers are typically bred for specific traits like sweetness, color intensity, or heat level. Once harvested, these peppers are dried and then ground into a fine powder. That's it. No magic additives, no complicated chemistry. The flavor of paprika depends entirely on the pepper itself and what happens to it after picking. Some peppers are naturally sweet, others slightly bitter, and some carry real heat. That's why paprika can taste mild and almost fruity in one dish, yet deep and smoky in another, even though both come from the same basic plant family. One of the biggest misconceptions about paprika is that it's a single uniform spice. In reality, paprika comes in several main styles, each with its own personality. Sweet paprika is the most common, especially in North American kitchens, offering a gentle flavor with little to no heat. Hot paprika, on the other hand, includes peppers with more capsaicin, giving it a noticeable kick. Then there's smoked paprika, which takes things in a completely different direction. Instead of air-drying the peppers, they're slowly smoked over wood, often oak, before being ground. This process infuses the spice with a rich, almost meaty smokiness that can transform a dish instantly. These differences aren't subtle. They can completely change how a recipe tastes, even if the amount used stays exactly the same. Paprika didn't start in Europe, even though it's strongly associated with places like Hungary and Spain today. Its story begins in Central and South America, where chili peppers were cultivated for thousands of years. When explorers brought peppers back to Europe in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, they spread quickly across the continent. Over time, different regions began cultivating their own varieties and refining their own methods of drying and grinding. In Hungary, paprika became a defining national spice, carefully graded by sweetness and heat. In Spain, especially in regions like Lavera, smoked paprika became a culinary cornerstone. What started as a New World plant slowly became a global seasoning, shaped by climate, culture, and tradition. Paprika's signature red color isn't just for show. It comes from natural pigments in the pepper, mainly carotenoids. These compounds are also found in carrots and tomatoes, and they're responsible for those warm red and orange tones. The intensity of the color depends on the pepper variety and how it's processed. Some paprikas are a vibrant, almost glowing red, while others lean darker and deeper. Interestingly, this color fades over time, which is why fresh paprika tastes better and looks brighter. Old paprika doesn't usually spoil in a dramatic way. It just becomes dull, both in color and flavor, turning what should be a lively spice into something forgettable. Despite being made from peppers, paprika isn't always spicy, and that's one of the reasons it's so versatile. Many paprikas focus more on sweetness, earthiness, or smokiness rather than heat. Some have a slightly bitter edge, others taste almost fruity. This complexity allows paprika to work in a wide range of dishes, from stews and soups to marinades and dry rubs. In many cuisines, paprika isn't just a garnish, it's a foundational flavor that builds depth over time, especially when gently cooked in oil. This slow-blooming process releases its aromatic compounds, turning a simple dish into something warm, rich, and comforting. Paprika's popularity comes from how easy it is to use. You don't need special techniques or precise measurements for it to shine. A pinch can enhance eggs, vegetables, or rice, while a spoonful can anchor an entire stew or sauce. In dishes like goulash, chorizo, or paprikash, paprika isn't optional. It's essential. It adds warmth without overwhelming, color without artificiality, and flavor without bitterness when used correctly. However, paprika does have one weakness: high heat. If burned, it can turn bitter quickly, which is why many recipes call for removing the pan from heat before adding it. In the end, paprika is far more than a simple red seasoning. It's dried and ground pepper, yes, but it's also history, geography, and craftsmanship packed into a single spice. Its flavor depends on the pepper, the drying method, the grind, and even how fresh it is when you use it. Paprika can be sweet, smoky, mild, or fiery, sometimes all at once. The next time you see that red powder in your kitchen, it's worth remembering that it represents centuries of cultivation and cultural exchange. Paprika isn't just there to make food look good, it's there to tell a story, one dish at a time. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.